Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes. Go ahead, grab your friends, and get ready to learn all about Google Maps and virtual field trips. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. We are going to learn all about Google Maps and virtual field trips today. So hopefully you are ready to learn and excited because the content is just a tad different than what we used to do. But it should be a lot of fun. My name is Melissa Matthews, and Dr. Gail Siglakis is unfortunately unable to be here with us today. So, and this was her idea, so I'm going to present on her behalf. Before we get started, most of you are at this website here. So you're at weeklywebinars.palmbeachschools.org, which is a redirect, so ignore that. And you see all this, and you scroll down, and this is our presentation. If I click play, it's going to show me live what we're seeing now. If I want to participate in the chat, I'm going to click this YouTube link in the bottom right, and it's going to take me to YouTube. So that way I'll be able to see over on the right all the different links that anybody posts. I also suggest you make sure that this is on the live chat instead of the top chat, because for some odd reason, when you're on top chat, some things disappear. You will see that the link to the presentation is right here, so that if you wanted to click on all the links within the presentation, you could do that by clicking there. Also, please make sure you sign in to get credit for being here. I think they fixed it, but just in case they didn't, it used to be that your image was very blurry. I'm not sure if it's just me or if it's everyone now, but my image is clear now. If I wanted to change it, I can click this cog or this gear over here, and I can change the quality to 720p, which is now auto. And if you saw, auto is 720p. So that is the best you're going to get, and it should be crystal clear for you. So hopefully that helps. I'm going to close this window out and let's get started. So I am flying solo today, so I need to make sure I take care of the chat window and everything I'm sharing with you. So if I'm a little discombobulated, you know why. So here we are. This is basically your Google Maps. So you can see there's directions right here with that blue arrow. We can search for places in the search feature. Map menu options are here. I can flip from satellite mode to normal mode here. I can go to street view by clicking this little guy over here. I can make the map scale different by zooming in and out, or zooming in and out as well. And I can also click this if I have location services on to take me exactly to where I am right now. So let's show that live real quick. So on my maps, and I went ahead and typed in maps in Google, and it will pop right up for me. So in here, if I wanted to go to the Eiffel Tower, I could just type that in, and it would, boom, take me to where the Eiffel Tower is. And it shows me a cute little picture. I could, again, do directions from the Eiffel Tower to the Louvre or wherever it is that I'm traveling from. It'll show me walking distance. It'll show me biking distance and what path to take depending upon what method I'm using. I'm going to close that so we see more. I can see restaurants and bars and hotels and places to have coffee as well. If I wanted to see satellite view, so I actually see what's going on, I could do that. And I love this little street view. So if I take my little man and I put him right down here, I could stand under the Eiffel Tower, and I can look up and I can see what it looks like from the bottom, and I can spin around. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy. And I can look at all the different viewpoints that are under the Eiffel Tower to see what exactly is going on. So that's pretty cool to see. So that's street view. The other cool thing that I found is if I click this little icon here, it's going to show me all the cool things that are near the vicinity of the land point or the landmark that I chose. So right now I chose the Eiffel Tower. Let's say I want to see the garden view. So if you look, all this area here is like the by the Washington Monument, where it's all that green reflection pond area. They have this similar situation in front of the Eiffel Tower.
So here's a night picture where you can see it glowing and you can see that reflection pond. If I wanted to see the Champs de Mars, you could see that. And that's actually, you're on the Eiffel Tower looking down. And you can see all the different viewpoints from throughout the Eiffel, or from up on the Eiffel Tower all around. This actually, oh, it's just a picture. I'm sorry. I thought it was going to show me all the 360 view from looking up there, the Eiffel Tower at night. So all sorts of different pictures and things that we could see down here at the bottom, which is super cool. I can go back to my street view and I can go here. So let's go back to my presentation and let's see. We are here now. So there are two games that Gail found that are super cool. One of them threw me for a loop in the last session. So we'll hope that it doesn't do that this session. So Smarty Pins is super cool. So it's going to give you, it's kind of a game, and it gives you a question and you have to pin the map where that question is answered, if you will. So if I click Smarty Pins, and that's why I gave you this presentation so you could click away as well with me. And you can see he's searching. So I'm going to select a category first. So my categories are March Madness, Arts and Culture, Science and Geography, Sports and Games, Entertainment, or History and Events. I'm going to go for Entertainment. And question number 1. In this 1984 movie, Detroit cop Axel Foley, or Eddie Murphy, travels to this posh city to solve a murder. And I believe it's San Francisco, I think. So those of you with better movie trivia than me may know. Now, I dropped the pin. I can always move it still. Somehow I don't think it's San Francisco. Let's do LA. I'm second guessing myself. You know I'm going to get it wrong now, right? So here we go. I'm going to submit that answer. And whoa, I was very far off. I was 991 miles off. It was Beverly Hills. Hello, Beverly Hills cop. I should have known that. Oh, I was only 9 miles away. I'm glad I chose LA. So my pin was 9 miles away. So I have 991 miles remaining. So I was pretty close. I'm going to press OK. Oh, just ignore that because it seems to work anyway. And so we're going to click next question. So here's my next question. Shelley Long starred in this hit comedy about a housewife who takes charge of her daughter's scout troop in this posh city. I have no idea. I have to remember this movie. It was like a 1980 movie. I don't remember. Oh, I could have taken a hint. 90210 is Beverly Hills. And Beverly Hills is... I wonder if I can search. Beverly Hills 90210. Where's Beverly Hills in here? My geography skills are lacking. Let's pretend and say it's here because I don't know where Beverly Hills is. And we're going to submit. And we are 390 miles away. Apparently Beverly Hills is down here. See, Beverly Hills. And then I can go to my next question until I run out of miles. So it's pretty cool. Know that some of the questions have nothing to do with America. They're all over the world. So you never know what you're going to get on here. So Smarty Pins is a fun game. So moving on. We're going to go back and we're going to do Geoguessr this time. So Geoguessr, the first time I played this, it dropped me in an post office and all the writing on the wall was German and I had to determine where I was. And so I had to tell it where I was in the world. The second time I played it, it dropped me on a dirt road with a whole bunch of grass around me and cows and asked me where I was. And that was a little bit more difficult. So let's see what it gets me this time. Hopefully it'll not embarrass me and give me something a little more, here, let's do there. Here we go. There's US cities. And so I just said single player go. This time I'm going to do the dumb test because it's Tuesday afternoon and I'm going to say play and let's see how we do. So I don't have to sign in. I can just keep going. And hopefully it will tell me something here. Maybe I do have to. I didn't have to sign in the past 2 times I did this. Let's just log in with Google real quick and see if maybe that fixes what we're doing. And here we go. Yay! So it's dropped me at a location. I can spin around and I can see we are definitely in Rome at the Colosseum. And so now I need to make a guess. So our guess is in Europe. Boom. I believe that's it. Make a guess. And I earned 4,916 points. I can play the next round. So this is a lot easier than that dirt road. So now I am definitely in Paris. That is the Arc de Pelago, I think they call it. I'm not sure. Arc de Triomphe, I believe. Arc de Triomphe. Or maybe actually there's one in Europe or in New York, but I believe this is Europe for sure. So I need to go to Paris. And nobody's typing anything over there. Paris, Italy, Paris, Spain. My France, French. I'm in France, Paris, France. So here we go, Paris. Boop. Make a guess. Voila. See, it comes to me. It just takes a second. So this is the other game. And so you can see I was just a little bit off, but that's okay because I didn't zoom in enough. So that's the other game. So that actually worked a lot better than the first time I did it, where it dropped me on the dirt road and said, "Where are you?" So be careful to choose accordingly. So the next slide is mystery Skypes. Mystery Skypes are super, super, super cool. So a mystery Skype is, I encourage you not to use Skype. I encourage you to use Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts, your picture is much more clear and your sound is much more clear than a Skype. So the way this works is I'm going to choose another teacher from anywhere in the world. I've done this where I've worked with a teacher in Michigan, and it worked really well and really neat because where it was sunny and warm here, it was cold and windy and snowy there. So my students got to see snow through the camera, which was super cool. I've also done it where I was at Jerry Thomas Elementary and the other teacher was at Timber Trace Elementary. And we guessed where they were using yes, no questions only. So are you in the Southern Hemisphere? Are you on the East Coast? Are you in Palm Beach County? Whatever the question is, it's a yes or no answer. So your students in your room either have the board displayed on the whiteboard and they're Xing out all the places it can't be, or they're circling the places it can be, depending upon how you want to work it. When I did the Google Hangout with the teacher at Timber Trace, it was cool because then our students became pen pals. They started working collaboratively on different projects through Google. And we actually got to meet at a park, have a picnic lunch together and meet our pen pals in person, face to face. And what's nice is, as you guys know, Timber Trace is Palm Beach Gardens, Jerry Thomas is Jupiter. They're 10, 15 miles away from each other. Those people were actually able to continue to see each other and become friends, which was super cool. So that's a mystery Skype or a mystery Google Hangout, if you will. Let's go back for one sec. There are places online, like in Facebook and Twitter and what have you, where you can put out there, looking to find a buddy to mystery Skype with. And there's lists of people who are eager to mystery Skype with you. So I did write mystery Skype because that is the terminology they use. However, I'm sure no one would have a problem if you use Google Hangouts as your medium for that. Makeup app. Makeup app is so cool. So here we go. If I click this, it's going to take me to google.com/maps, and I'm going to get started. and I can make a map of anything I want. So let's say I teach 5th grade and my boys and girls just went to DC, my patrols. However, I'm left with a bunch of kids that did not get to go to DC. So I do not want them to be disadvantaged. I want them to have similar experiences. It won't be as rich because they won't be physically there. However, I can create a new map and I can call it patrol trip, and I can save it, and then I can zoom my way in to DC. And just like the other map feature, there's satellite view. So under base map, I'm going to make it satellite view, and I'm going to scroll in even more so that I can really see DC, and know that you can left click and hold it and zoom in even more. And you can see here we are in DC. Now you can see that here's the Washington Monument. And if I click on that little blue guy, I can add that to my map so that that could be one stop point we're going to go to. Again, you can always do street view. This is going to not necessarily do street view. It's going to take you through pictures and information about the specific location, but then you can always go back and do street view. So here's the Thomas Jefferson Memorial. I'm going to add that to my map. I can change the color if I want to. So maybe that's a gray link as opposed to a blue link. I can go to the Arlington National Cemetery and add that to my map. And maybe I want that to be green because the grass is green. And maybe I want the Lincoln Memorial on there. So I can add that to my map. And maybe I want that to be yellow. So I can have all sorts of different markers on my map. And as I go through my map to preview it, it is going to show me all the different places. So here's the Washington Monument. Here's 10 photos from it. I can go through and I can see all the different photos, and we can talk about the imagery and how it was built and why they made it and why it's so tall, and all sorts of different historical facts about the Washington Monument. I can also go back to Google and do I can view it in Google Maps. And once I view it in Google Maps, I can then take my little guy once he loads, and I can do Street View. And it's going to show me here I am at the base of the Washington Monument. And I can look up and see how tall it is, and we can talk all about it. So that is the Make a Map feature. It's really great. We actually, let's see if I can find you another one real quick. I can, let's see. Here we go. I want to go back. I'll click the back button. Ta-da! So I actually made a map for the Tech Talk that we just recently had, where each color was the room that you were going to go to in order to participate in the event. So you knew where you were walking and where everything was laid out. Oh, actually, this is the technology conference for Santa Lucia's. So this is all set as well. So you know where everything's going to take place the day of the technology conference. So that's pretty cool. You can also reorganize these as much as you'd like. And as you make markers on the map, doesn't want to do it. Oh, that's right. You have to actually click where you want the marker. Let's say 0.11 is fine. When I click the color, there are all sorts of icons that I can choose to embed onto my map so that I can, and you can see here's a crisis, here's animals, here's weather, places, all sorts of things. So you can customize it as much as you want, especially if you're going to be printing in black and white. You definitely want everything, different symbols and things. So that's Make a Map. Hopefully that's helpful. And it is already 3:20. So the one thing I did not talk about are lit trips. So I highly encourage you to Google lit trips. To the best of my knowledge, what it is so a lit trip is I'm reading a piece of literature, and as they travel from place to place within the story, I am going to make a map using the make a map feature of all the different places they travel and pinpoint as I go through. So lit trips are pretty cool. There's also Google Expeditions. I don't know much about that yet, but I highly encourage you to look into it. I believe that's with the Google Cardboard, where you're almost like augmented reality standing in the place that you're traveling to. So that's also pretty cool. All homework from March to the end of this semester is due May 25th. So I believe it's March 8th through the last session is May 25th. Your implementation homework must be a screenshot of something you learned and took after the webinar. Unfortunately, I did have some people take pictures of what I shared, and I wasn't able to give them credit for that. So please, you don't have to use this in your classroom or your job, but take the skills you learned today and play with them and take a screenshot of you using them for credit. The survey is in ELM. It's taken one time per semester, and that is also due for credit for the class. Thank you so much for joining us. Next webinar is going to be April 9th with Holly Ruffner. She's going to teach us all sorts of research tools to use within our classrooms. Please complete the EdTech evaluation form, and I'm going to go ahead and escape out of this real quick and copy and paste this into our chat window. Remember, if you say yes to the question that asks, do you want additional help on this? That means that someone is coming to your classroom or Google Hangouting with you to teach you a specific skill. So if you just want more information, more webinars, just go ahead and say no, and we'll just keep teaching you. So that is the slide. And we're going to finish just a few minutes early. I think that's it, actually. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope this was informative, and we will see you next week for research tools. Have a wonderful Tuesday and a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you.